Listen carefully, because this isn't about flattery. This is about impact. There's a difference between a compliment that sounds good and one that stays with her long after you've walked away. Most men speak to impress, but the man who understands timing, tone, and truth, he speaks, and she feels it. And here's the truth. When a compliment comes from a man who carries experience, calmness, and certainty, it lands differently. Not louder, not flashier, just deeper. Let me show you why. 1. You carry yourself with real confidence. Not loud confidence, not attention-seeking energy. This compliment recognizes something rare, self-possession. It tells her you're not distracted by surface. You notice substance. 2. You have a peaceful energy about you. In a world full of noise, chaos, and constant validation seeking, calling out her calmness is powerful. It tells her you value presence, not performance. 3. You're very intentional with your words. Most people talk. Few people mean what they say. This compliment says, I see your depth, I see your thoughtfulness, and that hits deeper than you're cute. 4. You seem like someone who knows what she wants. This isn't about control, it's about clarity. You're recognizing direction, purpose, and that makes her feel seen beyond appearance. 5. You have a natural elegance. Not forced, not trendy, not copied, natural. This kind of compliment separates her from the crowd without putting others down. 6. I respect the way you handle things. Respect is rare, and when it's given genuinely, it carries weight. This tells her you're not just observing, you're evaluating character. And character, that's where attraction becomes lasting. 7. You're easy to talk to. Simple, but powerful. It creates emotional safety. It tells her she doesn't need to perform or impress. You already value the connection. 8. You're different in a good way. Now this is the one that lingers. Because everyone wants to feel unique, but not misunderstood. This says, I see your uniqueness, and I appreciate it. Now here's what most men get wrong. They think it's about what you say, but it's really about who you are when you say it. A compliment from a man seeking approval feels empty. But from a man who is grounded, observant, and emotionally disciplined, it feels like truth. And truth doesn't need volume. It just needs presence. So don't rush your words, don't scatter your attention, and don't try to impress. Because the right words, spoken with calm certainty, don't chase attention. They command it. Depth matters more than surface because people can instantly feel the difference between words that are said out of habit and words that come from real observation. Most compliments today are rushed, repetitive, and focused only on appearance, which makes them easy to forget. But when someone takes the time to notice how a person carries themselves, how they communicate, or how they handle situations, it creates a completely different emotional response. It shows attention, awareness, and a level of understanding that goes beyond the obvious. This kind of communication is rooted in emotional intelligence, the ability to read between the lines, to see what others overlook, and to value qualities that truly define a person. When compliments reflect depth, they don't just sound good in the moment. They stay in the mind because they make the other person feel recognized at a more meaningful level. This approach also teaches patience and intentionality, encouraging individuals to slow down and observe rather than speak impulsively. Over time, this habit builds stronger, more genuine connections because it shifts the focus from impressing others to understanding them. And in a world full of noise and superficial interactions, depth naturally stands out and leaves a lasting impression. The power of any compliment is not only in the words themselves, but in the presence and maturity of the person delivering them. Words without emotional grounding often feel empty, while the same words, when spoken with calm confidence and sincerity, can carry significant weight. Maturity brings a sense of control, patience, and clarity, allowing a person to communicate without seeking approval or validation. This creates a different kind of energy, one that feels stable, reassuring, and trustworthy. When someone speaks from a place of self-assurance rather than insecurity, their words naturally become more impactful because they are not trying to impress, but simply expressing what they genuinely perceive. Intent also plays a critical role. Compliments given with the intention to manipulate or gain attention are usually sensed quickly and lose their value. On the other hand, when the intention is pure, to acknowledge, to appreciate, and to connect, the message feels authentic. This teaches the importance of inner development, showing that true influence comes from character rather than technique. By focusing on presence, emotional discipline, and honest intent, individuals can transform simple words into meaningful expressions that build respect and deeper human connection. In the end, what truly makes a difference is not the quantity of words, but the quality of awareness behind them. When you shift from surface-level reactions to deeper observation, and from seeking validation to expressing genuine intent, your communication naturally transforms. People remember how you made them feel, and that feeling comes from authenticity, presence, and emotional clarity. When depth meets maturity, even the simplest compliment can leave a lasting impact. It becomes more than just a moment. It becomes an experience of being understood. And in a world where most interactions are rushed and shallow, the ability to speak with intention, sincerity, and calm confidence sets you apart in a powerful and lasting way.